Let's talk about something that is good, and this is using social media for good, because we've talked about how to protect yourself on social media, but Instagram is actually taking matters into their own hands by developing tools to protect users against potential self-harm. It's rolling out a new tool to make the social media platform a safer place, and I will say there's a chance this could save lives. What they're doing is, if you see a friend post about self-harm, you can then anonymously report it. The friend will get a message saying someone saw one of your posts and think you might not be, or you might be going through a difficult time. If you need support, we'd like to help. And then there are options that can be accessed directly through the app, including contacting a helpline. Of course, these are all going to vary by location, but may just direct you to a friend you can talk to or other support groups. And it's a really interesting thought process. I do want to bring psychotherapist Mike Dow into the conversation, because as a therapist, you deal with people oftentimes who are going through difficult circumstances. This could be a revolutionary way to use social media. Is this a good idea, or do you think that there's a danger of abuse?
I think it's a fantastic idea.
Because I felt that way too.
So a lot of the adolescents that I've treated and young adults, there's usually a cry for help, but a lot of parents, they say, oh, my teen's maybe they're just being a teenager. And a lot of teenagers especially don't cry out or talk to their parents about it. Yep. But they do use social media to hint at things, whether it's self-mutilation, an eating disorder. There will usually be something said to somebody. So we're really creating this funnel, right? So that we're going to help people and correct it. And as far, Dr. Travis, your question about are people going to abuse it? I think in this case, it's really better safe than sorry.
And I would agree with that.
You hear a cry for help, you've got to assume that it's for real.
And that's what we do in mental health. You know, if somebody has a suicide attempt, or they're actually saying over and over again, every single time somebody says, I'm going to kill myself and I have a plan, we act as if they are going to act on it. And by the way, if somebody is saying it, even if it's their fifth or sixth time, that in and of itself is a cry for help, and that person needs real help, right?
I love how Instagram, in this scenario, realized how powerful of a tool they are. They worked with mental health experts, setting this up so that they are getting the help that they need. And when we're talking about the illnesses and the types of mental health problems that may benefit from this, is it everything from depression to anxiety, maybe not all the way to suicide? Is there a lot of opportunities here to use apps like this?
I think so, especially when it comes to things like low self-worth, right? So it's not something that needs inpatient treatment. It's not anorexia. It's not addiction. But maybe it's low self-worth. Maybe it's somebody who struggles with confidence. Maybe they have a little social anxiety, right? That's very common in adults and in teens. So I think we can use it to really help, even when a mental health professional is not needed, to really boost people's self-esteem, to help them get through struggles in life.
And we hope that people aren't going to take the low road in that scenario and end up putting them down, bullying them, and in fact,
right, exactly.
And this technology has technology to block those people, which I think is really great.
Hasn't that been one of the big problems with the advent of social media?
Yes.
It's easier to feel bullied than to feel support. And this, I think, really does change the game. I'm curious, if, in your opinion, if this works for Instagram, there are a lot of other social media apps. Do you think that this could change the way we access people who are going through a mental health crisis?
I do. You know, I think one of the problems in this country in terms of suicide and mental health is people are untreated. The disease in and of itself sometimes prevents people from taking that first step. So I think, you know, something as easy as posting something, you know, Facebook already has something similar. They all have one. It could be really,
definitely
really great.
improving the odds of this person getting help.
That's right.
The previous story was how we use 911 in emergencies. So if I have chest pain, I call 911. If I'm shot, I call 911. If someone's robbing me, I call 911. I would argue that most people watching right now, if they have a moment where they feel really, really sad and may even have some thoughts of self-harm, you don't necessarily know who to call. And if the thing that you're doing is social media, and you know that now is an access point for you to get help, that's a game changer to me, because most of the time people don't call 911 and say, you know what, I'm just severely depressed.
That's true.
And so this is an access point.